I think it's really important that a lawyer is involved not only after the child goes missing or is re-trafficked, but from the very beginning. And the reason why this is important is because states owe duties towards an accompanying asylum children who are children in need, and especially if they know that they're children that are at risk of being re-trafficked. So, for example, if social services who are the child's corporate parent and they're looking after the child and they've got enough evidence that there's a very high risk that the child might go missing or re-trafficked, they should take steps, proactive, preventative steps to stop these from happening. So whether this is making sure that the child is in a special safe house, or whether this is making sure that the child doesn't have to access to his mobile phone, which contains the telephone numbers of the traffickers who still exercise a high degree of control over them. So I think that as lawyers there's lots of things we can do to minimize the risk of our clients going missing or being re-trafficked. And probably one of the key things, which is what we've learned at this very useful seminar, is that there has to be multi-agency cooperation. It's not good enough for you just to work with your client or for you just to work in a case with social services or the police or the client's asylum case. It's really important to involve everyone so that the information is shared. So in the unfortunate case that your client goes missing, everyone can take urgent steps without duplicating the work, without missing key information such as the child's name, what do they look like, sharing fingerprints in database and other things. I think it's really important to build a relationship of trust with the young person, and in order to do that, I think you need to make it very clear that you're there on their side. You know, they've had such bad experiences, not only on their journeys across Europe, but also, unfortunately, when they get to the countries of arrival or at the transit member states. Unfortunately, they're often mistreated by the authorities. They're sometimes detained at a police station in many countries or in detention centres in the UK, for example. So the children are obviously, they feel very scared and they feel that they can't trust the authorities. So you're just a new party to them, and I think it's really important to build that relationship of trust, perhaps with the social worker or an NGO, to make sure that we're on their side and that they can trust you. I think with these types of cases, the indicators are quite strong from the beginning, and I think sometimes you can't tell because of late disclosure. Unfortunately, lots of clients don't disclose what's happened to them because every time they tell their story, in a way, it's re-traumatizing. So I think there's indicators, whether that be the nationality of the child or the fact that they're being a bit vague when you ask them about something, or the fact that they're asking for a mobile phone quickly to make a call to someone. I think as soon as there's an indicator, it's important that urgent referrals are made to, if it's a trafficked child, well, to the competent authority in charge of deciding whether or not that person is a victim of trafficking. But when it comes to missing children, I think the red alerts should be raised with social services and with the police, so they put in protective measures to stop this from happening.